Welcome to the Partnership Path Podcast, a space where your partner management challenges are transformed into insights, where your expertise isn't just recognized, but celebrated. You're not alone on this partnership journey. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, we're here to guide you, to equip you. Dive deep with us into the world of partner management as we bring you real-world insights, expert advice, and strategies that truly make a difference. Ready to elevate your career? Let's take another step on this journey together.
Hello, welcome back to the Partnership Path. Hi, John.
Hey, Toni, how are you today?
I'm good because I've had an idea.
Really? I'm
Yes,
so excited to hear it.
I know. Well, I mean, easy. I've had an idea that is relative to the Partnership Path, and I was reflecting on what was the key document when I was working in the channel community, and the document that sort of set the benchmark, the groundwork for every partnership that I worked on was the Partnership Business Plan, or the PBP.
Ah,
So,
yes, the PVP. And I,
mm.
so I have my first question to you, Toni, is you just called it a partnership business plan. Is that really what you called it back in the day?
No, it's called a Partner Business Plan.
Right. I mean, that's really where we start, right? Is that
Yeah.
our too many of our organizations, especially the software companies that are working through these channels, we put together these templates called a partner business plan.
Yeah.
And then we go put it in front of the partner, which is, by the way, super offensive to the partner, right? Because as a
Hmm.
partner owner, I sit down and go, okay, wait a minute. You think you have my business plan? Like
Mm.
I got my own business I run. So I love the fact that in this question, you actually did title it the right way, which is the partnership business plan. I think
Yeah.
that,
And
yeah, go ahead.
okay, well, you see, I'm excited now, so I just have to, I cool my jets a bit. But there was something you said there that just made me go, yes. And one of the real benefits I found of working with the partner community in the UK, I worked with one that was family owned, and
Yeah,
their sales director told me very clearly that what I had with me for our meeting was absolutely not his business plan. And
yeah,
I felt it was actually a great lesson for me in
sure.
how to listen more
Yeah,
and
yeah.
think about the partnership versus the partner.
Yeah, this is a little bit of an aside, but it's such a great point because I think when we work for a big software company, we think we know it all. We think we've got it all figured out. We think we're the leaders who have to teach everyone else how to do stuff. And the truth of the matter is that these people that have created and built their own company and have survived while the software companies have flourished and gone out of business and flourished and gone out of business, and these little service providers and implementation firms have weathered the storm.
Mm.
They know how to run a business. They don't need us to tell them how to run their business, right? And so it's such a good point, and one that is easy for us to forget. And it
Yeah.
starts with the way we label our templates inside the software company. So we want to change that. But
So,
let's talk a little bit about the kind of the construct of that partnership business plan, because the other thing that I see that I think is really challenging is most of the templates that are out there assume that a partnership business plan is one document.
mm,
But for us to be effective in going to market together in a partnership, we actually have to operate at three levels. We have to operate at kind of a strategic visionary level that says, hey, over the long term, 3, 4, 5 years, here's where we want to go together. Here's what we want to be as partners, or, in our partnership. What do we want our partnership to become over that time frame? And then we have to operate at a kind of an operational fiscal level. I call that the tactical level. Like, how are we going to go to market together in the next little bit of time? What are we going to achieve? What goals do we have? And then the reality is there's an execution level that I call the initiative level, which is how are we functionally going to market? What's our initiative going to be? And we might have multiple initiatives at any given time. Maybe for a particular sub vertical or a particular customer group, or new customers versus existing customers, or whatever it might be. And all three of those levels kind of require their own little plan. My initiative needs to have goals, needs to have stakeholders, needs to have a plan of how we're going to do it. My operational level, my tactical level needs a set of goals and some stakeholders and some kind of a review rhythm of when are we going to look at the business. And then I also have that at the strategic or the visionary level. So I really have three different documents that I should be using. And I've said stakeholders at all three of those levels. The
Yeah.
people that we review those with are very often different people for each one, even in that small company that you and I just talked about, right? We would likely do a strategic plan with the owner. Where are we going to go? We would very likely do our operational plan with the VP of sales or the sales manager in charge and doing the annual planning. And then we would very likely be working with the local sales reps or the alliance manager or the, whoever is kind of doing that execution on those initiatives. So it's three different people. Why would we only have one document that does all of that at once?
Okay, so something you talked about before, John, is translation. And often we will be given internal documents that are designed to help us with our partnership planning efforts. So, how do
Yeah.
you take something that is very internal to your organization, software vendor, hardware vendor, whatever that may be,
Yeah.
and make that something that's workable, consumable in the context of the partnership?
Yeah. So super good use of word there, right? The key word that you use is translate, right? We've talked about this in other episodes, that our job in many ways is to translate what our internal requirements are into something that makes sense for the partnership. And so from a planning perspective, the truth is we probably should have an internal partner account plan that says, hey, here's what we would like to see happen at this partner account. And that may or may not be at a partnership level, but it probably talks a little bit about partnerships, but it definitely also talks about a whole partner account. But then we have to translate that and say, okay, but how am I going to get there? And the easiest way to think about this is quota, right? So we
Yeah.
have a target that we would like to get out of a particular partner account, but we can't just tell the partner you need to produce this. I mean, we can, but it's not
Good.
gonna. It doesn't get anything, right? And
Yeah.
so instead, what we need to do is sit down and talk about where we can go to market together. Talk about the possibilities of what's out there and how we could, and then collaborate on what do we think we can produce together. I'll tell you, in the time that I've been doing this over the last 17 years or so, the partner account managers, channel managers that have taken that approach where they have a quota in the back of their head, but they sit down and do some planning with the partner that says, hey, here's a market we could go after. How much do you think we could get if we went after that market? And they collaborate together
Yes.
and it becomes very collaborative. 9 times out of 10, the partnership actually comes up with a number that's bigger than the quota that we set. Now, they may or may not achieve that, but the idea that the partnership says, I think we could produce this much, that makes us motivated, right? Then we're, as opposed to, hey, I need this from you. And so that translates into how these partnership plans need to be put together, right? That we need to think about that at an initiative level. How much could we get out of this initiative? We need to think about that at a operational level. How much do we think we could do together this year? And we need to be doing that at the strategic level. Hey, look, over the next 4 or 5 years, what do you think we could become? Could we become the leading provider of these types of solutions to our customers in this market? You think that's possible, right? That's the kind of thought process we want. And if you take what I just said, those are actually short documents. They're not very long.
Yeah.
They can be really, really short.
And something there that I just think it's so powerful. It just reframing that conversation to say, how much do you think we could get? How much more appealing is that as a conversation than could you light up 9,000 instances of X
Right.
piece of software? It's so powerful because you're actually treating the person you're speaking to with some respect, and you're seeking their opinion, and you're examining an opportunity together. And who knows what wraparound services or hardware, software that they may be able to sell as part of a broader solution that encompasses what you have a quota for.
That's right.
So powerful.
It all centers on the mentality that you bring to the table of, if you think about this as a partnership, that the two of us are sitting down together and going to market together, that generates a totally different conversation than, oh, you're my go-to-market arm, you're my transaction arm that delivers, right?
Yeah.
It's a totally different mentality. And so that it's all got to start right there in how we think about what this partnership is.
So, John, feels like we're at the point where we can pose a question to our community.
Yeah. Look, I think what I'd love to do is start a conversation here about what are people doing effectively to translate their internal planning documents into usable, effective partnership business plans. I'd love to hear the creativity that's out there, because I know it's out there. I've seen it. I've seen people use some of our templates, make up their own templates, all of that to make it as simple as possible and at those three levels. So that's number one. And then secondly, I'd love to hear what the community is hearing from their partners about that. What do the partners actually want in terms of those kinds of documents? I know that they don't want to fill out the vendor's template, right? So what are they hearing? What when they talk to a partner, what does a partner say that would be ideal for them in terms of how they think about the partnership business plan itself? So I'd love to see that conversation, and then we'll respond to it.
I'd love to hear what the partners are saying. I think we're going to get a lot of feedback on that one, John.
I think so. I hope so. And I hope it drives another conversation for us.
Brilliant. Wow. And we've taken another step on the partnership path, John. I'm enjoying the journey so far.
Me too. Thank you, Toni.
Thank you. And thank you to everyone who's watching and listening.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us on the Partnership Path today. Remember, in the vast world of partner management, you have the potential to shine, to become the authority in your field. Don't let the journey end here. Subscribe, reflect, and lead. Together, let's redefine the essence of partnership in today's dynamic partner ecosystem. Until next time,